I got another t-shirt design video for you today. I'm going to show you how to create a design like this. I'm going to show you how to make the mountains in Affinity Designer, the circle, and the different colors and where I find them. So you don't want to miss this one. Let's go. Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juno with Detour Shirts. I've been designing and selling t-shirts online since 2005, and my channel is all about helping you to learn how to design and sell t-shirts online. If that's something you want to learn how to do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button right here. So in this video, I'm doing it again. I'm doing another t-shirt design video. I got a whole bunch of them if you look back at my video list. I'm going to teach you how to do this one right here. And in this one, I'm going to show you how to draw these mountains in Affinity Designer and what's the difference between the pointed mountains and the curved mountains. You're going to see what that means with the pen tool. If you're wondering about the pen tool, I'm going to show you how to find those colors in the background that I'm using, where I find them, and how you can make your own. And I'm going to show you how to knock out the mountains from those colors, as well as this font that I'm using in here, show you where I got it so you can use it. I'm going to do all of this in Affinity Designer. You can follow along with other applications. If you have Illustrator or Photoshop or any of those, anything with a pen tool, you can probably do this. So just follow along there. But let's get into Affinity Designer right now. All right, so here we are in Affinity Designer. I wanted to show you something real quick for those of you that don't know how to do this. Here's Affinity Designer. This is what you start off with. You may see something like this. When you start to create a new file in Affinity Designer, you may see something like this, but you have my presets here. You can see I made one for Merch by Amazon t-shirt size. I'm gonna show you how to do it exactly. So right here, it has what you need to click on. So let's do one for the Merch by Amazon hoodie size, just so you can see the difference. So first, 4,500. Instead of 5,400, the hoodie size is 4050, like that. And you're going to want to do 300 DPI, and then pixels is what you want. You can do the artboard, create artboard right here. RGB, all of these are going to just be defaults, and the bleed defaults, you don't have to worry about that. But when you want to create one, just hit here, custom. You can't change it right here as far as I know. I think you just have to hit custom right here, and then you can see right there it's called unnamed. And when you right click on it, you can rename it. And I'm going to name it Merch by Amazon Hoodie, because I already have t-shirt, and hit OK. And now I can choose either one right here. So let's do that. Let's just go Merch by Amazon t-shirt size. I'm going to click it, and the create button is right below my face here. So I'm just going to hit enter, and I think that's going to work. So now that I'm in here, you can see it's perfect size. I'm going to click on transform and click on this artboard tool, and you can see it is 4,500 by 5,400. So it's that easy. Every time now you can just hit that my presets, and you don't have to mess with your artboard at all. So let me show you how to do the mountains, the design, what we're here for, right? So click on the pen tool right here. You can see pen tool, click on it, and then just draw your mountain. So go up and down, doesn't really matter what it is. You can just be creative, you know, and do that. And then you can always fix it with the node tool. So come in here if that's too long, if you want to change this like this, whatever you want to do. If you want to add more peaks, just, you know, pick one here and do that one, come down like this. So you can do whatever you want the mountain to be like. If you want one higher than the other and then it goes down and then up, that's great. Okay, but you can see right here by default, the stroke is really small. So I'm going to take the stroke, turn it to stroke here. I want it 100, 100, 100, first of all, the colors. And then I'm going to go to the stroke palette and then make it a little thicker like that. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see the difference, what we're going to use here. Holding down Option and scroll, I'm going to scroll in. Okay. Now you see that? See how the cap is rounded? We talked about that before. The join right here. Let me hover over it, round join. Now if we pick this one, you can see it's cut off, and this one is the bevel join, and this one here is the meter join, and this is the one we want for the sharp corners. You can see some of them aren't sharp, some of them are flat, but some of them are sharp. And the reason for that is Affinity Designer doesn't know what to do with it, doesn't know to make a point if it's smaller than 90 degrees. So let's take a look at this. This will explain it a little bit. So let's do a 90 degree right here. So you can see the really sharp corner, but as I pull it in, it's going to start breaking. So right at around 90, I guess 85, not exactly 90, but you can see it breaks right there, right? So you can make it more than 90 and that's fine, but once you start getting a little more below, it can't draw that. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these around so that they have the sharp points. So I'm going to get rid of this, and you're going to see here how, just think of that angle right there. So let's move this until it makes a point. Move this one, whoops, move this point. Now these shouldn't be beveled at all. Let's just move them down like that. Okay, there, you see that? All right, let's do the same for it. Let's get rid of these. I think it's because I added them. All right, and then move this over. If we move it over a little bit, okay, there's the second point here. Can move this down, there you go. That one's a point, that's cool, but I don't like that angle. So let's do this and this. Oh, there we go. Let's move back out. Zoom back out here. There, check it out. So now we have all the points, which is really cool. I'm gonna do a second mountain over here, starting with my pen tool. I'm just gonna go here, down, maybe up, and down. So you can see that. And let's zoom in and make sure we got the point here, point. Oh, perfect. All right, so we got the rounded ends. I wanna do not rounded ends. I'm gonna do the capped ends like this. So everything's straight. And you can come back and adjust. Let's say we don't like this angle here. I'm not really fond of that angle. Let's move things down a little bit too, you know. There, that's looking nice, right? See how the mountains go? If you want to move things down, you know, you can move it down. Just make sure that angle is still the same so you have the points here. So those are my mountains. That's how easy it is to do in Affinity Designer. You can draw your own mountains, your own points. Make sure that it's something that you like. So those are the mountains. The next thing we're gonna do is add a sun. So as you guessed, you probably guessed, I'm just gonna use the ellipse tool and I'm gonna put the sun right there. Hold down shift and you'll have a perfect sun. See that width and height, they're the same if you're holding down shift. And I'm gonna do that right there. I'm gonna use the color of nothing inside here and make sure the black 100, 100, 100. And move the sun wherever you want, but you kind of want it at least, you can put the sun up over the mountains, but I think it's really cool to put it behind the mountains. So I'm gonna put it, I don't know, right there. That right there seems good. So I'm gonna change this to expand stroke so that it's a object, and then I'm gonna cut it out. So first thing to do here, click on the circle, come up here to layers, expand stroke. So you can see it's no longer a stroke, right? It's now a fill, right? And then I'm gonna zoom in here and I'm gonna cut it out. So I'm gonna use the pen tool here and make another shape. So here, I'm just gonna follow these mountains, right? Like that, and then go behind it. So you see I'm making this shape that's covering the sun. So let me show you. I'm gonna fill it with black here. Make sure that that shape is in the front, and it is, and select both of these, the sun and the shape, and I'm gonna subtract the front. So you can see here, subtract, and click on that. And there you go. So let me zoom back out and I got that sun right there. All right, we're moving along. That looks really great. I'm gonna move this down. I'm gonna zoom out just using the command minus and select all of these and move it down just so we have our colors that we're gonna put up here. So I'm gonna just use a rectangle tool and draw this right here. And I wanna make it, let me make it light so you can see. So I'm just gonna start off, it doesn't have to be this color, but let's just make it light so we can see, and put it in the background. And I want this to cut the mountain right here. So you can see, let me zoom in. I want it to cut the mountain so we have this straight shape right here. So I'm gonna do the same on the right side, just enough to cut the mountain right there, okay? So that's perfect. And then I want to make these 5 colors. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, you know, right about there is what it probably will be. We'll figure it out. So I'm hitting Option, Shift, clicking this and dragging. So just dragging it so that it's right next to it. And then I'm going to hit Command J to do that again. 3, 4, 5. So now you can see I have 5 of them right there. And that's how many I want. You can do 6, you can do 7, you can do 3, whatever you want. I think 5 is a great one for color palettes. So I'm going to select all of them and bring them all the way down until it touches both of the mountains. So you can see it's touching right there on the mountain, and I'm going to leave it at that. And these are going to be the 5 colors that I want. So how to find these colors, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go to the internet to a cool website and show you how to find these colors. So here's the really cool website that I'm going to use to find the colors, and you can see it is cool. It's called Coolors, C-O-O-L, like cool, and O-R-S, and so it's like a pun for colors, but it's Coolors. And you can make your own palettes, or you can explore the palettes that people have already made. I think I showed in a video how to make a palette before. You can click on that and just pick your own colors, and it kind of guides you through it. But let's just do explore and see what kind of colors there are in here. It's going to take a minute. And these are the top color palettes, the trending color palettes. You can see how many saves people have done on these. You can scroll down and just pick any one of these, and you can see some really cool ones. Not to make that pun too many times, but you can see trending up here, latest, popular as well. Let's do popular, just so you can see the difference. This one's trending and popular. It's got this red, white, and blue kind of thing. A lot of these are really cool for t-shirts. So I'm just gonna snag this one right here. I'm gonna do Command, Shift, and then 4. And it's gonna give me a screenshot, so I can just screenshot this right here on the Mac. And I'm going to pull this into Affinity Designer so that we can use the colors. You can also just write these colors down right here, or you can open in the generator, you can view the palette, you can do all these things. Export palette. Wonder what export palette does. So let's click on that. Oh, you can save it as a PDF or image or CSS. Wow. So instead of doing the screenshot, let's save the image and see what that does. Oh, you can type it. So let's just do color palette and hit export. All right, let's look at both of these in Affinity Designer. So here we are back in Affinity Designer. You can see I saved both of them here. I'm gonna scroll in or zoom in. So this is the Coolors one that I made that we exported. That's kind of neat. And this is the screenshot. You can do them either way. I think the screenshot's a little faster, but this one's a lot better because you can see the hex codes right here on Coolors. So whichever one you want to do, they work both great. I'm gonna zoom back out, and I'm gonna turn these, this one, since they're the same, and we're just gonna copy color. So you could click on here and go to the hex code and type it in, but I'm using CMYK, so I'm just gonna use the eyedropper tool and click on there and then click. And then sometimes CMYK doesn't work very well, so I'm just gonna move the colors just a little bit there. So here again, clicking, and that way I can just copy this color palette, and we can change it after if we don't like it, but let's just stick with this one for now. What did I do? That, and click. There we go. All right, so we see we got the same color palette here. We're gonna wanna knock the mountains out of here, and we're gonna do it kind of the same way as the circle that we did. So let's go in here with the pen tool, and let's just click right here. Whoops, we'll get back to that one later. So we're just following this ridge right here so that we can knock it out. And we're gonna knock these colors out that touch it. So let's just go back in here and with the node tool and make sure we got it in here. Like this one came out. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're doing. So there, that looks in. And it just has to be in the line because it's gonna be behind, right? So fixing it up right here. The rest of this looks pretty good. Okay, so now that we have that, you can see that it's touching 3 colors. This one right here, this one, and this one, right? So let's click on that again. Let's make it a colors that we can see. So let's just make it dark like that. And I'm going to copy this 3 times. Look in my layers palette what I'm doing. So there's that. I'm going to do Command J 2 times. You can see there's 3 right here. And we're going to erase it from these. So this one and this one, we're going to subtract. This one and this one, subtract. This one and this one, subtract, right? And we're going to move all of these in the back too. So the whole thing, move it in the back. And there we go, it's knocked out. You can see the sun still isn't knocked out because we didn't do that. I want to give the sun a color. So let's zoom into the sun here. And let's just use that pen tool again. I'm going to just trace around it. Let's just make sure that we're inside the black line right here. Like that. Let's just click really quickly here. You know, it doesn't have to be super perfect as long as it's in the black line. See right there. And this is going to be the color that we're going to use for the sun. So whatever color we want, let's say we want to make it just like a light yellow, like that. And we're going to move this behind the black line, but in front of the colors. So let's just do Command X to cut and paste it in front of this color right here, Command V, and there you go. So that's how easy it is to make the colors and the mountains. The next thing we need to do is the text. So I got a font that I like here, and it's called Inline. Let's see if I have it here. I'm going to start typing take right here, and I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Double click on it to highlight it, and let's see Inline if I have it. HI Inline. Oh, intro. I said inline. It's called intro, but there's an intro inline. Let's do intro first. You can see it's such a cool font. I love this big fat font. It's really thick, and it has some nice curves here on some of the letters. So I like this one. I'm going to make it a little bigger, and I'm going to hit Option and drag, Shift and drag. I'm just going to use A right here. Take A, hike, like that. And I'm going to make hike. I'm just going to Option and drag this here and type in hike. You can see that. And make it bigger. I'm going to make it as wide as this thing here. That wide. And bring it down. Take a hike. And I'm going to use the inline one so you can see how it is. Intro inline. Look at that. It draws that inline for you. It's pretty cool, right? So you can find this font family on myfonts.com. There's so many more fonts in this font family, or typefaces in this font family. These are just 2 of them. If you want to look on there, you can see there's some rust, there's some textured ones on there. There's really cool font family. Anyway, I'm just using these 2. The last thing I want to do here is cut this right here. You can see kind of it hanging out, and that's a cool style right there, but I'm going to show you how to cut it. I'm going to zoom in here, and we're going to change these first into expand stroke, right? To make it a, just like we did with the circle here, making an object. So go here, layer, and expand stroke. And let's go zoom in here so we can cut it. So we're just gonna use a square or a rectangle and just butt it up against there like that. And click on this and click on that and subtract it. So you can see how it just cuts it off. Nice clean line so it looks like it's part of it. Right? Same thing with this one over here. Let's zoom in and cut it right here. Square tool, butt it up against there, and click and cut. And you can see if we zoom in way close, you can see I missed it. It's supposed to touch here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another dot here and just make it like that. So now it's touching. So not a big deal. You probably wouldn't even see it if it was zoomed all the way out on a t-shirt anyway. So there it is. Take a hike. If you want to do a black version or on a black t-shirt, I mean, so let's get rid of these and let's just copy this. So I'm going to zoom out, hold down Option and Shift. So Option, Shift, and drag, and you can copy artboards as well. So let's do it. So you can see now I have 2. I'm going to make a darker version. So I'm going to do black in the background. So instead of that color, let's go there, and then let's just make it a dark gray just so we can see it for a little bit. And then we're going to change these to white. So, and that to white. And this to white, the mountains. What? And the sun, the lines. Let's make that white. That's cool. And let's see what it looks like with black on a black t-shirt. These colors may be too dark, so you can just click on them and kind of take the black off, the K, take that down a little bit. If they don't have K, then take some of the colors down a little bit, you know, make it just a little bit brighter. You take this green, or take that cyan off. Just adjust the colors, or pick new colors from coolers. Go in there and pick another color set. You can do that as well. Taking down black here. I'm just going to try and make it easy, but if you want to go in coolers, experiment with some colors, that would be cool. Let me go in here. Now that it's white, this is kind of standing out. So let me change that to, I want to pick this color right there. Boom. That's kind of cool. All right, red sun, maybe orange sun. Let's, yeah, like that. Or white. If you wanna make it white, let's see what that looks like. Just a white. Now, that's kind of a cool thing too, right? So either way, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna leave it as a color though. There you go. So there's my two versions. You can see how I did that. So very easy on how I did that. The color palette, now you know how to pick those colors. Now you know how to make those mountains with the nice sharp edges. And this font, it's a really cool font with the inline. I would suggest go to myfonts.com and look at the rest of this in here and change this. Don't use take a hike if you're going to make something like this. Come up with your own phrase and your own designs, own colors, move the mountains around, move the sun somewhere else. You know, maybe put some trees in here, some birds, slap on a texture on here too. Create your own mountainscape, very simple mountainscape for outdoor theme. I think this will really help, and you know, come up with different phrases for this. So have fun with this design. Hopefully it was really helpful for you and you learned a little bit of different things that you can do on Affinity Designer. This program is super powerful. There's so many other things that you can do on here. I'm going to try and figure out some other designs so you can learn step by step and kind of practically use it. I know sometimes in tutorials they're like, use this, and you know, you don't know how to use it or where to use it. And I want to show you how you can design with it. So that's part of this. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully this video was super helpful for you. If it was, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to this channel already and you want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there. So before I leave, I wanted to end with a question of the day, and the question of the day is this: where do you find your color palettes? I showed you coolers. Is there another place that you go online, or how you come up with different colors? Maybe you just come up with them in your head, or maybe you go somewhere and find colors. I'd like to know. Leave that in the comments right there on how you find your different colors for your color palette. Thanks again for watching, and if you want to see more videos to learn how to design and make t-shirts, click on these videos right here. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.